Hi guys, it's Hayden Crawford here from the Dreamtime Academy and welcome to your Good Fridays live Starseed Colour Numerology readings. Hope you're going to enjoy yourself today. I know I am. How's your week been? How are you feeling? What's been going on for you? Are you still enjoying yourself, resting and resetting in shutdown, or are you tearing your hair out and wishing that things would just go back to normal, whatever we perceive to be normal? Well, I've had an interesting week actually. I'm feeling quite tired. I've been sleeping absolutely like so many hours, far more than usual. I don't know about you guys, but I've been actually sleeping probably around about sort of 10 hours a night, but waking up in the middle of the night for about an hour or 2 hours, and then finally going back to sleep. And when I do go back to sleep, it's going into that really deep dream state where like lucid dreams. So I don't know how everybody else is feeling. How are you feeling? Is it feeling like that for you as well? If it is, leave a few comments and let me know. Who's with us today? If you just leave your comments in the comments bar below, then that would be awesome as well, because I'm going to be doing some colour numerology readings for you today and giving you some insights into, who you are, what you're here to do, and, your best strengths and weaknesses and times to embark on new projects and ventures. So it really is going to be an exciting opportunity for you to get a free reading with me. I'm absolutely chock-a-block at the moment, but I just really wanted to give you guys the chance to be able to sample some of this wonderful modality that I teach called Pythagorean numerology. And I'm also going to be giving anybody who is interested in learning numerology the opportunity to be able to do my online course for only 19 Australian dollars, $19.95. So if that's you and you've finally got the opportunity, because you're here today and you're a loyal and dedicated Dreamtimer, you're going to be given that opportunity. I'm also going to give some of you the opportunity to get a numerology chart as well, depending if you get selected today for a live reading. So introduce yourself. We've got Tabitha Coids. Hiya, Tabitha. How are you? Experiences and enjoy the show, then please do leave your name, or your living name, and your date of birth as well. And we can try and look at both of those today, but we're going to start off just looking at some birth dates and see if we can align those with your starseed origins. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're also going to be I'm a bit tired today, don't I? It's because I've just literally woken up, so I'm running a bit behind schedule. Hello, Penny Nontham, and Patrina Bishop. She made it. Fantastic, excellent. Well, it's so nice to see you all here, and yeah, hopefully we're going to all have a bit of fun today. So let's just see what happens. I know that my stream is probably a little bit broken up and everything, because it always is, because my upload speed here in Western Australia is pretty naff, so it might sort of break and pause, but hopefully we'll get some nice good long segments in where you can hear me fine. Is it going all right? Is everyone seeing it okay? Could you let me know? And before I start, just let me know, and I'll just move my screen over so I can see all your lovely comments. Hello from California. My name is Jeanette Quadlupe Mosquita. Wow, that's an unusual name. That to me is like a Mexican. Is it a Mexican sounding name? It's beautiful. I always love the Mexican names. So Jeanette, and you were born on August the 29th, 1989. Penny, it's a little bit bumpy, but good. Oh, great. Okay, that's really lovely. And it's Nonman. Is it Penny Nonman? And Penny's birthday is the 8th of the 8th, 1958. That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one to look at, actually. And straight away, I'm getting a Lyran starseed for you, Penny, with all those 8s, because the Lyrans are very linked up to Leo, the sign Leo, and they have a lot of those sort of lion-like or Leonian traits. Sometimes you find a lot of Leos do incarnate, or a lot of Lyrans incarnate in the sign of Leo. We've got Viv as well, is here. Viv van der Stroos. Fantastic. Happy birthday for the other day, Viv. Viv's all the way from Margaret River in Western Australia. And Tabitha, where are you from, Tabitha? And what's your date of birth? Patrina Bishop is from Ohio. as well. Great. So lots of Americans here today, which is fantastic. Make sure you like the post, okay, and share it as well with your friends. But obviously, as I've just said, anybody who's in the show today and who wants to learn this modality, I have got an online version of it, which I'm actually going to be offering for only 19 Australian dollars, 19.95. All right. So you just PM me or leave a message if you want that, and I'll send you a link through to after the show. Excellent. So who are we going to start? We've got Melinda Starr as well. That's a great starseed name, isn't it? Melinda Starr on July the 26th, 1966 in Nevada, USA. So loads of Americans here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're all feeling a bit more bright and breezy than I am today. I'm feeling a bit tired because I've just literally woken up, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, it's Good Friday. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be going and doing a live stream on my YouTube channel today, and I completely forgot. So I've had a quick shower, and Mark's made me a coffee as well. So I don't know if you can see that. A nice coffee. I always get one of these every single day. So I'm a very lucky chap, really. This is a nice coffee. I hope you've all had your morning coffees, depending on what time of day it is there. Okay. We've got Cosmic Gypsy and Tabitha Coids as well. And Siren of the Voids here as well. Fantastic. So loads of you are here and enjoying being with me in my Dreamtime Healing Room. This is my colour therapy room. This is where I do all of my consultations. So I use the colour mirrors, as I've just been showing you before. So I've got a whole selection of them that we're going to be using today. And I'm going to be bringing in the colour mirrors to show you what your colour influences are based around your date of birth as well. So we're going to bring in lots and lots of different modalities together. We're going to help to raise your vibration as well during this process, so that you can start aligning with the beautiful starseed wisdom and actually your starseed origins as well. Excellent. So we've got hack tutorials. So many beautiful people here today. Excellent. So I'm going to start with that particular look there. That wasn't a good look, was it? Okay. So Penny Nonman. All right, Penny. So Penny's date of birth is the Penny Nonman is the 8th of the 8th, 1958. Okay, the 8th of the 8th, 1958. Excellent. All right. So we start and understand what I'm doing. All right, because we're going to try and work out a few different things today based around your date of birth. So this is Penny Nonman, the 8th of August, 1958. And this is the way her birth chart reads. Okay, so what we can see is this is the physical plane, this is the emotional plane, and this is the mental plane. So the 3, 6, and 9 are mental numbers, the 2, 5, and 8 are emotional, and the 1, 4, and 7 are physical numbers. So we can see that Penny is a day number 8. Okay, a day 8. Then we've got 9, 10, 18, 19, 23, 23, 31, 31, 41, 39, 9, and then 12. So you're a day ruling number 3. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to show you, Penny, you're a ruling 3 with a day number 8. Penny, you're a ruling 3, which is Jupiter. It's this bottle here. So this is Jupiter. All right. Beautiful Jupiter bottle, and that's coral over coral. Now this is your main color vibration, and this is all about Christ consciousness. Actually, the ruling 3 people, they are quite whimsical. They like poetry, music, lyrics. They're inspired by expansion. You know, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and it wants expansion. It wants to grow. It wants to be the best version of itself. And coral is a mixture between gold, which is authentic power and wisdom, and pink, which is unconditional love. So when you blend those two together, you get a form of expansion within your person, you know, within your soul. And this is really about self-acceptance as well. So a lot of the ruling 3s have to get to a point of self-acceptance because they might have a bit of self-doubt that they have to travel through before they come out the other side and actually honor themselves as a Christed human living out a temporary human experience here on earth. So that's your ruling number. Now, ruling 3s, you know, are, as I said, you know, they're often attracted. They're quite lively, fun, fun-loving people. They're good entertainers, and they like being sociable, and they're always quite joyful, and they always laugh a lot. So they can be really fun-loving people. They're gorgeous people, actually, and yeah. But sometimes they suffer from this awful self-doubt, which is a real shame. But being a Leo, and obviously Penny, you are a Leo. So it's Saturn energy. So Saturn in the colour mirror system is this bottle here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that one there. So Saturn is lilac over violet. All right, lilac over violet. And it's a beautiful bottle, that. And Saturn is old father time. So Saturn is, it really is, it likes processes and procedures. It wants to make sure that the future is built on solid foundations as well. So this is a day influence for you. They make good managers, they make good money managers as well. But of course, Saturn, we're going through a lot of Saturn and Pluto activity at the moment. We have been since the beginning of the year. And, it's there's a lot of grief that's stored within the color violet, in the subconscious of violet. And it's also, connected to the spirit. So there's a release of that needs to take place, almost like a purging of the soul. But it's a very independent bottle, that one as well. The number 8 is very independent. So when you've got someone with 3 8s, this person is very organized. They like to be in control, but also they're very independent people as well. Okay, so they want to do things their own way. And because you've got this arrow here, which is called the arrow of determination, you're very persistent in your goals. Okay, so you like to see your goals through to finality. You're able to, be able to put your energy together and take the inspired action that you need to be able to achieve the things that you've set out for yourself in your life. However, what we can see here is you've only got one number on your physical plane, which is the number 1, and there's only one, and that the 1 also represents the ego, but it also represents communication. So actually, you do struggle a little bit with communicating how you feel. Even though you know how you feel, there is a restriction around the throat chakra. So it could be quite difficult sometimes for you to be able to get your words out in the right way. You could do with some development of your intuition, because there's no 2, or there's no in your numerology, but also some grounding needs to take place. So often what we find with starseeds is that they are, they're very violet beings, really, because they are on a high frequency. They are very empathic and sensitive. And what happens is they often need red energy to ground them on the physical earth, so that they can live out their human experience. All right. So with this one, really, this is an independent, organized, very nurturing, caring person who's quite fun-loving, whimsical, but somebody as well who likes expansion, but they have to go through a process of self-acceptance. But you do need grounding. Now, the Leo is the leader. Remember that. Leo is like a Libra, like myself. They like to lead. But I feel that with you, you've got the capabilities of leading, and I think you can do that in a management style. I think you'd make a good man manager. But I feel that sometimes you probably suppress how you're feeling a little bit, or hold that back in fear of people's feelings. So leave a few comments below and let me know what you thought of that, Penny. You wouldn't believe how many times I've saved lyrics. I have a 2-inch binder full. There you go. So that just demonstrates, how accurate numerology is. Ruling 3s love, they're whimsical. They like to explore words and energies around creativity and lyrics and things like that. And you wear red jasper a lot as well. Fantastic. Awesome. So Cosmic Gypsy says, awesome. We've got Ernestas Mokas, born on the 26th of the 1st, 1999. I love the 1999 people. Actually, you find a lot of people who are born in 1999 have autism, which is a really strange phenomenon. I don't understand it, but I think it's possibly because humanitarians. Well, they are humanitarians, because the 9 is the number of the humanitarian. So, and they want to help heal the world. But often, it's almost because that's on the mental plane, it can cause a little bit of confusion that goes on. Spot on, says Penny. Fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Well, look, if you want a more detailed report making up, I can create one for you. I'll put a link in the video underneath the video afterwards. So any of you that want to have a report can have one of those. I've got it on special at the moment during the COVID lockdown, only 39 Australian dollars. So if you wanted one of those, about a 10-page document which goes into all of your color energy, as well as your numerology and your name chart, as well as your birth chart. Okay, so we always have to take into consideration your living name as well as your birth chart. So you look at the name chart and the birth chart next to each other, and then you look at the numbers in comparison, and you see if something is reinforcing an influence, or is kind of going against it in a way, supplementary or complementary characteristics. Excellent. I'm glad you like it, Cosmic Gypsy. I'm glad you're enjoying the energy. Now then, I'm going to go to somebody else now, and we're going to take a look at somebody else's. Did you write my report then, says Siren of the Wind. I bought a deluxe report. Did you really? I don't know. I didn't receive an order through from you, Siren of the Void. No, that's really strange. I'm not sure. Unless, when did you put that in? Unless it was like today or something like that. I'll check my emails later on. But otherwise, no, I didn't receive it. So you might want to just send me an email with the proof of purchase, and then what I'll do is I'll get onto that for you over the next few days, because these aren't sort of computer generated reports. These are ones that I actually write myself, all right, based around your date of birth. So they do take me quite a long time. So they don't often come through like immediately. It can take a few days for me to organize them. How do I find out my before lives, says Ernestus Smockers. An interesting question, that. And when we talk about past lives, we've always got to look at images that come up for us, during our meditations or our dream time, and sometimes even deja vu can give us indications as to maybe who we were in a previous life. But that's assuming simultaneously we can see that actually there is no past, present, or future. It's all happening by going in and exploring your intuition and insights through meditation is often the best way to be able to align with those multi-dimensional aspects of yourself and find out who you were. But also you can use the color mirrors. So say, for example, somebody picks this bottle in a reading, which is gold over olive. That's a really good indication that they've had an Egyptian past life, because those two colors, the gold and the olive together, are very indicative of that. If people pick out like gold and red bottles, it's a Roman past life. Magenta or pink. Pink is the Essenes. We've got magenta, which is Japanese, so it could be Japanese past life. You've got the copper, which is African tribal. Orange and blue combinations is often Native American Indian. So color combinations can start the ball rolling, with your, memories of your past lives, which are actually caught within your cellular memory. So it's really interesting. Yes, you do need to buy, if you wanted a numerology reading, you do need to buy one. So I'll put a link in the comments section below underneath the video, and that will go through to my website, and you can just order it from there. They're 39 Australian dollars. Okay, so Siren of the Woods says that she has had deja vu before. Fascinating. There you go. Cosmic Grey says Lyran memories. Okay, and Siren of the Woods says, if I saw gigantic seraphic constructs in outer space in a vision, do you know what that means? Well, a lot of the time, because we're waking up, we've got to realize that the planet is waking up. So there's a huge mass awakening going on our planet right now. Okay, so we're all getting affected by it. And this can impact on the visions that we have, or it could be lucid dreams, or it could be flashes of inspiration. Whatever comes up for you, just trust that it's it's your own truth, and that nothing can be dismissed as being illusionary anymore, because what is the biggest illusion is three-dimensional reality and the constructs around that. So, you've really got to start trusting yourself when you start experiencing different phenomena. Like, I was speaking to a girl the other day, for example, and she has experienced a pink cloud over the city that she lives in, like a really beautiful pink light. And she got a feeling that it was the Palladian spaceship. And of course, you've got to trust that. And then I got the confirmation that it was right shortly afterwards, because I was then on Facebook in a chain after doing the interview with Scott Matthias rather, and he's the author of the Antares seals. And in there, that another girl had also seen a pink light over her city as well recently, and also thought it was Palladian. So, there's synchronicities happening all of the time, and we have to trust this process, each one of us. Okay. My thoughts on different timelines, Patrina, are, really, everything is possible. So, the past and the past is kind of set, but the future is mutable. All right. So anything is likely. It really depends on the mass consciousness and what the most dominant sort of waves of intent are. So if we all are aligned at the same time, and we're all visualizing the same future for ourselves, we all have the same vision, then we can create that. But obviously, we need numbers to be able to create the sort of outcome that we're looking for. So New Earth Matrix really is a collective creation. So the more of us that can visualize heaven on earth and move out of the old, sort of control paradigm, which actually I think stemmed from the Orion Matrix. A lot of that is disappearing quite quickly now, because the Draconians have left the planet now. They've got actually they can't escape out into the universe as well, so I don't know where they are, but they're certainly not here anymore. So things are going to be shifting quite dramatically, so just watch out for that. Okay. And yeah, our dream times will connect. They certainly do. And lots of Arcturians coming through. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next reading. Okay, so we'll go on to the next reading now. So let's have a look and see who wants to go next. I'll tell you what, the first person that puts there. Okay, so yeah, so the first one of you that puts your date of birth in the comment section now. There you go. So we've got Genesis and Andrew Boyd. Excellent. There you go. You were the first one. The 10th, the 30th of the 10th, 1982. 30th of the 10th. You're Scorpio. 1970. 1982. Well, then there's a 72 person underneath. That's you, Viv. 1972. There you go. Excellent. Fantastic. That's all right. So what's your name? Is it Andrew? Am I talking to Andrew, or is it Genesis? Okay, so let's have a look. You've got the 9, you've got the 8. Okay, I think we're there with that one. Right, this is quite an interesting one as well. So you're a day number 3, and then you're a 9, 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, you were ruling 6. All right, so I'll go into a bit more detail with this one. Okay, so there you go. So Genesis was born on the 30th of the 10th, 1982. So what we can see straight away is day number 3. So the day number carries the second biggest amount of energy or influence over us in our date of birth. And again, we've got that beautiful 3 energy, which is Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter, which is coral over coral, which is this beautiful energy of fun-loving, quite jovial, sociable. The 3s are, they are inspired by the arts, and they've got far more important things to do with their life purpose than to just have a normal humdrum day job. They don't really, like to just follow the norm. They like to live their sole purpose on the earth. So the 3s, often go into, they make good teachers, actually, and actually they also make good writers or musicians. You know, they can go into all those sorts of fields. But the three, if you think about the number three, if you add one and one and one together, so it's like the man and the woman come together and have a baby. So it's a very creative number as well. It's the number of creation. Three is, you know, when we see the 33, that's all about mastering love. It's a master number, and then you've got the 333. So, you know, it's a very weighted number with a lot of meaning. But this is your Christ consciousness and self-acceptance that has to come in there. And then you're a ruling number 6. So actually, it's quite interesting because that's your ruling number. So it's Venus energy. So number 6 is the planet Venus, which is the planet of love, all right? Which is this gorgeous pink over pink. And actually, this can sometimes indicate a past life as an Essene, and the Essenes were a group of people that were around at the time of Jesus Christ, and they actually helped him and they saw him into being. Of course, we all know Jesus Christ was a Pleiadian, so was Mother Mary. So we've got, you know, we've got that beautiful sort of soft, gentle, unconditional love that comes through with the ruling 6 people. But they do have to learn how to unconditionally love and accept themselves. The number 6 is creative as well. So a lot of the ruling 6s are going to creative occupations. So Genesis, it's likely that you are attracted by, you know, creative subjects. You're probably inspired by the community and family. That's very important to you as well. But remember, the opposite of creativity is destruction. So when living negatively, this can actually be, you know, this could be somebody who that could get quite negative or turn to addictions, you know, maybe, you know, just turn to crutches and stuff like that to be able to get through. So the 6 is, you know, has got a destructive nature when living negatively, but they're both mind numbers. So what I mean by that is the 3 and the 6 both live on the mental plane of existence, which is your mental plane. It's your emotional, and that's your physical, mental, emotional, and physical. All right. So you've got 2 mind numbers. So you've got a very, very active mind there, right? There you go. 2 mind numbers, pink and coral. Very similar colours, aren't they, together? Very, very nice. But sometimes this can be a bit of a victim mentality that can come through with this as well. So just be careful you don't fall into that, or martyrdom, you know, and sometimes suppressed anger, because obviously pink is red, which has been infused with white light, and red is our antidote in a lot of cases for like emotions like anger and resentment. So yeah. Now, what we can also see from this chart is that this person, Genesis, has got the arrow of the planner. Now, the arrow of the planner is somebody who likes to have a tick list. They like to know what's coming next. They like to have a strategy. They like a process. So they want to know a logical order of things, because it's very left brain. It's on the left-hand side of the birth chart. Now, this one would say, for me, Syrian, a Syrian being. And Syrian, you know, is often, they're quite analytical. You know, they're quite an analytical race of starseed. So, but there is that beautiful loving quality that comes through with the Syrian race as well. So explore my traits of the Syrian starseed Genesis if you haven't already, and let me know if that aligns for you as well. Okay. So, and then we also see that you've got this arrow here of the frustration, the arrow of frustration, which is the absence of the 4, 5, and 6. Now, this means that sometimes that you can struggle in relationships. All right. So, and a lot of the time that's because if you haven't fully learned to love and accept yourself unconditionally, then you can seek that from the external other. And of course, you know, those relationships can't last a lot of the time, because a true healthy relationship is only when 2 people who come together who are both complete within themselves, and then they can shine their lights onto each other and support and enhance each other's lives, and not, you know, not be, you know, sort of taking from each other. So this can also be difficulties during childhood as well. You know, so it can be like maybe there was ill health, or your parents' relationship didn't survive. And that maybe had a knock-on effect with your own relationship patterns and cycles as well. It could be sibling rivalry. So we can see, you know, there's difficulties there in relationships, all right, and challenges in the earlier years that come through with this one as well. Now we know that the Scorpios as well are quite sexual beings. Scorpio is definitely the sign of, it's a very emotional sign. It's a water sign, and you know, a lot of the time when the emotions, you know, come out of control, it can be, you know, sort of quite a challenge to be around. Now, what we can see here is that you don't have any problems with verbal self-expression, but because you don't have any 5 in your date of birth, which is the center of your emotional plane, which is represented by the Venus bottle in the color mirror system, sorry, the Mercury bottle in the color mirror system, which is green over green. That one there. It means that sometimes you can react to emotional situations instead of respond to them. All right. So just watch out for that. You know, just maybe count to 10 before you know, you sort of go into your normal ways of communicating based on how you're feeling. Because obviously this is, yeah, it can cause a little bit of that, but you are very intuitive. You've got a nice balanced intuition, which is actually very reliable. You like to be in control. You know, you are a humanitarian as well. So yeah, so there's some really interesting cycles. Now we can also work out from your date of birth. There you go. So Genesis says, thank you. It makes total sense. Fantastic. I'm really pleased that you're understanding it. Excellent. There you go. So you said you got 100% a protector. There you go. That's fantastic. So yeah, we can work out your personal year cycle as well. Now, the way we do that is we look at the current year that we're in, which is 2020. And then what we do is we add that together. All right. So we go, that's a 4. Then we add 5, 6, 7, 8. So we travel in 9-year cycles. Okay. So when you reach an 8, which is what you're in, it's a year of independence. So it actually comes often out of a year that can be quite difficult during a year cycle 7. And when you go to 8, you go into independence and wisdom. So a lot of the time, you know, you might find that finances improve for you during a year cycle 8. It could be that you step into your own power and you feel more empowered to do the things that you want to do. And you've got more control in your life back again. So it's quite an auspicious time in your 9-year cycle. All right. So sometimes it could be like investing in properties or anything like that. So that's really, it's really cool. Excellent. And then so Genesis says, thank you. It makes a total sense. Ah, thank you. So Catherine McIntosh says, I don't need a reading. Just wanted to say thank you, Hayden, for the light work you do. You rock. Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me, because I had a funny day yesterday. Actually, I'll tell you about it, because I don't know, whenever we work within the, you know, sort of being of service, you know, or the healing realm, sometimes we can feel a little bit depleted, or we can feel I don't know, like we give than we receive. And so last night, I was sitting on the sofa with Mark and we were watching TV, and all of a sudden I just started feeling like, do you know what? I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this work, because I just felt like I was always giving, and just finding that, you know, like the amount of, it's out of balance. It just felt really out of balance, and I felt really unappreciated. And so I was just like, Mark said to me, well, why don't you just take a break? You just take a break from doing it for a while, and you know, and then see how you feel in a few weeks' time. And like, it felt like a good idea when we were talking about it, but then I woke up this morning and I'm like, well, I can't, because this is my purpose work. You know, this is really what I'm here to do, and so I'm just going to keep on doing it. So yeah, it's, you know, it is, you know, it is definitely something that makes you go through these waves. You know, you go through these waves of feeling about it, because, you know, every week I'm making videos. I'm you know, and you know, I'm inspired to do it, and everything, but sometimes you just think, wow, it's a lot of effort that goes into getting a message out into the world, and you just hope that it is being taken on board by everybody, because we all do need to take action on these things now. We can't be the people that we once were. All right. Excellent. So look at all these messages coming through. I can't keep up with them all, but I will have a look through all of your messages afterwards. Super exciting. Super exciting. Okay, fantastic. So enough of that rant anyway. Sorry, I just wanted to let you know that if you feel like that as well, you know, because I know a lot of you work in healing as well, that you might, you know, you might feel the same way from time to time. You might get that feeling as well. You might feel like that too. So it's okay. I think it's okay to feel like that. Excellent. Now let's have a look. Just go right down to the bottom. Oh, there's so many messages here. I can't keep up with them all. Right. Okay. So we're going to go to the next person. Next person. All right. So who wants to go next? Right. Who wants to go next? I'm going to do another reading now. So let's have a look. We'll do another reading. Unless there's a particular topic that you want to discuss. Is there a particular topic that you want to discuss now? And I'll give you some hints on that. Just trying to find the bottom of the stream. The stream's going a bit funny. There we go. I think we're at the bottom of it there. Can't get all. Okay, there we go. Jeanette, mosquito. You're the one that I saw the first. Okay, so I think I'm at the right point now, Jeanette. Excellent. I'll read through all your comments afterwards. It's quite confusing to try and read and do readings at the same time. So I'll have a read through all your lovely comments afterwards. So Jeanette. Okay, so Jeanette was born on. Okay, so we're doing Jeanette now. Okay, so I think this is where we're at with that. Okay, so you're a day number 11. You're a ruling number 9, 10, 19, 27, 27, 9, 10, 9, 10, 19, 19, 27, 37, 35, 6, 37, 47, 46, 10, ruling 10. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for that, Janice. That's so sweet of you. I wasn't expecting that. No one. Do you know what? I've never done like I've only literally just started live streaming last week actually, and I've always done them on Facebook before. But you know, I've been building my YouTube channel up now for probably about 3 years, just doing a video every week, and didn't really know why I was doing it. And so, you know, thank you for that, because that's like literally the first time I've ever had anybody give or send me money through YouTube, which is really, really strange. It was never really about a money-making exercise, really, for me. It was just because I like making videos. I did my degree in time-based media. Can you believe it? Time-based media. It was like a communications degree, so it was film and video. Back then, like in 93 to 96, obviously technology was pretty limited, you know. So, you know, I was using, you know, really primitive Hi8 video camcorders, you know, before digital came in. And I actually really struggled with the technology. It was so basic, you know. I actually get on a lot better with this. So I just do it because I love creating videos, you know. That's what I love. Yeah, so thank you for that. Anyway, that means a lot to me that you wanted to give me that. Thank you. So, all right, so brilliant. So, and actually, Jeanette, I want to bring in another bottle for you now, because Jeanette, you've got the 29 that comes up. Oh, that's so sweet. The part of their school. That's so funny. I never thought that would be possible. You know, that's so nice that you should say that. Like, you're honestly making my Good Friday by saying that your kids watch it. Okay, so right, 29. So Jeanette, you're a day number 29. Now, this bottle here is called Grace Under Pressure. Now, it doesn't do it justice, like me holding it up like this, but this is actually a very, very deep turquoise over a deep magenta. And this bottle really is called Grace Under Pressure because this is the Olympic spiritual athlete. All right. So when you've got this number, you're a day number 11, which is a master number, which is derived from a 29. So for you, sometimes life can be quite challenging. You know, you might have to go through some quite, you know, sort of intense struggles and difficulties, but you've chosen it. Remember, we've got a contract before we come to this planet. So we sit around a boardroom table, that's us, with all of, you know, the players in our movie, which we call life, and we decide upon, you know, who's going to help us learn what lessons. Okay, so it might be that your mum is going to teach you how to, you know, how not to be a martyr. Your dad might teach you how not to work hard for a living. Your grand might teach you, you know, how to let go of toxic relationships, you know, all sorts of different things. So everybody that you come into contact in your life, and especially your soul group, which is your family group, are there to teach you lessons. Okay, so you chose to come in, but you chose the route to try and fast track yourself, your soul's evolution. So you chose to do it through under pressure. All right, so it's grace, attaining grace through going through challenges and difficulties. And sometimes this is like feeling intense grief or guilt. It could be connected with all sorts of emotions as well. So, you know, it's the 11 is really here to guide humanity forward in one way or another. The 11 is, you know, in the color mirror system, it's represented by duality, which is it looks like black over deep magenta over clear. All right. So, and that is your last look at issues of separation, but you're actually here to guide humanity forward. So a lot of the 11s are very sensitive, they're very intuitive, and they, you know, they're here to, you know, to help humanity evolve in some way. But you're a ruling number 10, so you're actually a very soft feminine leader. So that's this, you know, this, it's called the Wheel of Fortune, this bottle. So it's gold over olive. Okay. And yeah, it's represents Isis, you know, not Isis as in, you know, the terrorists, but, you know, Isis, the goddess who gave birth to the sun. So it's this Egyptian past life that comes in with this. Doesn't mean to say you've had necessarily an Egyptian past life, although most of us have, because it went on for such a long period of time and actually stemmed from Atlantis. But this is really about having a very soft feminine power. So the olive is very feminine and the gold is authentic power. So this is ruling, this is the leader who does it not through dictatorship or control, but somebody who imbues a beautiful sense of feminine authority and is able to lead forward. But this is somebody who's very adaptable, somebody who is, you know, just a beautiful soul that that is able to kind of lead by example. Yeah, it's a very soft feminine power. Often they keep their relationships a little bit superficial because they don't want people knowing their deepest emotions. So they can sort of tend to sort of be a little bit surface. They might have one or two people that they open up to, but a lot of the time, you know, they might keep a lot of that soul stuff or their emotional self to themselves. Now, we can also see that you've got the arrow of frustration here as well, which is this arrow at the center, which is the lack of the 4, 5, and 6. So difficulties during childhood again, or relationships can be challenging for you as well. Yeah, so it could be that, you know, because you are quite an independent person, you've got the 2 8s, you like to be in control. So sometimes it might be difficult for you within partnerships. And again, you know, you do struggle to communicate how you feel. So that could be an aspect of that as well. But actually, you're here, I feel, to be of service. You've got those 3 9s. Now, the 9s are responsibility, idealism, and wisdom. The 9 carries the weight of all of the numbers that go before it. So it's a very wise number. And in the color mirrors system, number 9 is this bottle here, which is red over orange. Can you see that's beautiful? This is my bottle, actually, and it's Mars. It's called Mars, this bottle. Okay. And that is the humanitarian. So a lot of the time, people with 3 9s, as I mentioned before, they can either, develop autism, or they might have autism, or they may go into helping the planet in some way. So they become volunteers, or they might want to volunteer in later life. So I feel like for you, you are very intuitive, you are very sensitive, but you do have lessons to learn, I think, with regards to being able to communicate or assert yourself, and how you're feeling, and because you do tend to keep a lot of it to yourself. It's a lot of it's self-preservation, but you are very nurturing towards other people as well. Does that make sense for you, Jeanette? Just make sure we're on track with you. Hello, Aqua Goddess. How are you? It's nice to see you. I know it's beautiful. So yeah, so Jeanette said everything I said is on point. Fantastic. Well, we're going to look at your personal year cycle now as well. Okay, so what we can see is it's 4, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 21 to 23. So you're in a 5, a personal year cycle 5. You want freedom this year, Jeanette. So 5 is mercurial energy. I showed you that bottle before. It represents the center of the emotional plane, and it's kind of green over green. So it's like almost like an emerald green over emerald green. And this is about space. So you need space. So it must be quite challenging for you at the moment, because obviously we're all, kind of like restricted in our movement. And this bottle's about freedom. So, a lot of the time people, when they're going through their personal year cycle 5, they want to go traveling, or they want to explore or invest in something creative to give you that same sense of freedom this year, because you don't want to feel suppressed. It's liberated. That Mercury is about communication, versatility, space. It's about heart opening. It's about integrating heart energy. I'm a ruling number 9 with a day number 7, Patrina. So okay, so ruling 9 again is this bottle here, which is the red over orange. And a lot of the time, these are the starry kids that come in, and they get shocked by the density of the three-dimensional world. And that's orange in color therapy is shock trauma, and that sits in the subconscious. And in the conscious mind is red, and so anger can arise. So I have to deal with, like, I'm not a really angry person, but I tend to sort of bottle a lot of it up. So I get, because I'm very sensitive, I get easily hurt. So then and sometimes I suppress it, and so so sometimes I just have to, just find ways of relaxing, and that's why color is very good for me, because it just helps me to, just reconnect and to rejuvenate and to switch off and everything like that. So I'm just a very sensitive. But the 9 is the healer, or the psychotherapist, or the counselor. So I'm a very good counselor. So I can hear problems of other people, and I can uplift people. And sometimes I have to go through that own process myself to be able to then help other people. But also, you see, the Neptune is my day number, which is derived from a 16, which is the tower in the colour mirror system, which is violet over olive, which those two colours together, violet and olive, often mean that you're gay. So, I chose that to be able to sort of learn a lot of my lessons to come in as being homosexual. And this is the Neptune bottle, which is the spiritual teacher. So I'm a wise spiritual teacher that's here to, to sort of make a difference on the planet. And, the 7 is the number of mysteries, illusions, magic. 7 is, often has to learn through sacrifice, or learn their own way. They can't be told, how to live their life. They have to sometimes go through that process themselves, and then come out stronger at the other side of it. So they're my main influences. But of course, the evolution of the bottle 9 is the faith bottle in the colour mirror system, which is this one here, G9. So that's G9, and that's 9. So the evolution of this is this, which is one of the Ascension Golden Gaia bottles, and faith. It's called faith. So really, the antidote to this is to step into faith. So instead of holding on, it's about letting go of all of those things that went before you, that are no longer in resonance with where you're going on the planet. And this one is pale turquoise over gold. And this is where you step into the flow of your authentic power, and you just allow. You just allow things to unfold with ease and grace, instead of, getting caught up in the stories. Because a lot of the time we all get caught up in other people's dramas or in our own stories that maybe are just an old paradigm now. So I've had to learn. And actually, the interesting thing is, with my grace bottle, this one here, the first one that I bought, the top segment changed color. So it went from turquoise to clear. And so obviously when that happens is the bottles speak to you and they want you to bathe in them. So I poured the contents of the bottle in my bath, and I just lay there, and I went into an alpha state in a deep meditation, and I was able there to sort of align and reset and fall back into faith. Because when you do this sort of work, you really do have to be in a state of faith all of the time, because you're not in a job where you get a regular wage and all of that sort of thing. Everything that you do is self-generated and self-created. So you have to very much rely on spirit and the guidance of your angels to and also your starry family as well, and your multi-dimensional self, to be able to offer you the information that you need to be able to move forward in your life, and write the right materials, the right content, create the right courses that people need at this moment on the planet. So faith, is a huge lesson. Has been a huge lesson. All right. It's not one of the silver guys. The silver guys have got the sparkles in them. I'll show you one of the silver guys. That's a silver Gaia. You can see this one has got like the sparkles in it. This is the Children of the Light, and this is actually one of the bottles. If you're attracted to this bottle, it's likely that you're one of the star children that have come to the earth to be able to help raise the vibration. And this is like taking people into the golden age of Aquarius. These are the very sensitive, little indigo or rainbow children, or the crystal children. So you can see it's slightly different. You've got the gold instead of the silver there with that bottle. Came up in a distant healing. Fantastic. Excellent. Yes. So hopefully you're enjoying this today. I'm certainly enjoying having all of you guys here with me. Now, has anyone got any questions? Do you want to talk about anything? Have you got any questions about what's happening at the moment? Because obviously, hopefully you guys will realize that, we are in the middle of a massive awakening. Call it the new dawn. And, we are literally moving into the age of Aquarius. At the end of the year, on the 21st of December, 2020, another huge portal is going to be opening up, and it's when we have that same Pluto-Saturn conjunct, and actually it's been described as being a lot of proton energy sort of hitting the planet, which it's almost like a celestial event that we've got to expect at that time, and it's going to help shift the frequency. And what we have to do as a collective and individually really is look at ways we can raise our own vibration so that we can align to the oversoul of the earth and go into 5D instead of staying behind on the old 3D paradigm, because the earth is literally splitting in two. So the earth splits into two separate entities, I guess. One is where you exist as a light body, and the other one is still stuck in 3D. And then, of course, you've got the other thing that's going to happen as well, where the ETs are going to be coming in, and some of you will get the opportunity to be able to go off with them as well. So, it's going to be a very interesting time. Certainly towards the end of the year, but around about September. What you're going to find with COVID is it's just going to disappear mysteriously over the next couple of months or so. I'd say by sort of May, the end of May, I should imagine that it would have just completely disappeared. So just watch out for that. There's some interesting stuff going on, but just make sure that you're doing everything you can to raise your vibration. And some people say, oh, you've got to stop eating meat, and you've got to sort of be very puritanical. But I think that you don't need to be scaremongered into all of that. Just do what you feels right for you, and the process will be fine. But just know that something bigger is at play here, and your starry family are really there and here to support you. Whether that's the Pleiadians, which we know are here in force at the moment, or your Andromedan family. I'm an Andromedan starseed, so I was told in the middle of the night about 3 years ago that I was from Andromeda, and I didn't even know what that meant. I literally had never heard of that word before. And so I Googled it the next morning, and then I looked at the traits of the Andromedans and what they look like. And it was just like, oh my God, it's like looking in the mirror. So obviously, like I don't have lots of contact with my Andromedan family, but all I know is that they are guiding me, and they do reveal themselves, occasionally. But it's almost like I know that that's my soul origin. But actually, I'm feeling more connected to the Pleiadians at the moment. I don't know why. I just feel that they are working very, very closely with us, and the Lemurians as well. So yeah, so I'll read all your comments actually afterwards. But I just wanted to share that with you because obviously there is some changes taking place, and it's inevitable now. So we can't bury our heads in the sand. We've got to kind of face up to what's really going on, and do our best, really to make sure that when this celestial event happens at the end of the year, that we are kind of as prepared for it as possible. Oh, thank you. So Shannon says, hi, nice to meet you. It's my first time on a live with you. I love your video. They've been so helpful to me. I was told that I'm a gatekeeper. Ah, do you know what this means? Yeah, I do actually. The gatekeepers, they're connected with the 144 crystalline grid around the planet. Okay, and they actually hold a lot of the earth wisdom, and just a group of these gatekeepers, these keepers. If you watch my video on 144 crystalline grid activation, it will tell you a little bit more about that as well. But yeah, there's only a small group of that incarnated at the moment on the planet, but they have very key roles. So fantastic. If you're one of those, Shannon, that's excellent. There you go. So Genesis says, I feel Syrian and Andromedan. Can that be? Yeah, absolutely. Remember what I said is that you can be a mixture because you are multidimensional. You're an immortal, infinite being of light living out a temporary human experience. That's actually ultimately what you are. So you are so much more than you can ever possibly imagine. You're connected with every star system in so many different ways. So yeah, absolutely. Just trust what comes up for you. Like you're not just like, I'm not just Andromedan. My soul origin is Andromedan, but I'm also, I also have Syrian aspects. I've got Pleiadian aspects, but it's almost like you go through life and you connect with different people at different times. It's almost like you connect with different aspects of your starry origins and starry families at various different points in your life, depending on how much you need their help at that particular time. Yeah, I think that the gatekeepers can be children too. It just depends because we've got so many beautiful souls that are coming in at the moment. The rainbow children, which sort of arrive after sort of around 20, well, really after 2010. But a lot of the crystal children came in, but the babies that are being born now are the rainbows, and they're born into functional families, and a lot of them have come directly from source or directly from their star families, and they haven't been through the birth death cycle, so they've not been involved in that whole karmic loop of being born and dying and then coming back in and doing all of that, because that was an old control paradigm. That's over now. So the rainbows are the last incarnation of beings on the 3D, and they literally just have to be, and their presence is so uplifting and beautiful, and it's imbued with wisdom, and it's light, and it's they haven't got karma. And that's why they choose functional families to, so they can carry out the work that they need to do. So they don't have all of those lessons and karmic debts to repay. They come in as beautiful sort of energies. It's amazing. Yeah, the rainbow children don't experience trauma. Not necessarily. No, they that's why they're born into more functional families, so they don't have to go through that. And a lot of the time, a lot of these guys won't end up having children, because a lot of the time when you have children, you end up getting caught in that whole karmic loop. So it is beautiful, Patrina. It is beautiful. But look at the work of Dolores Cannon as well. Like, she's amazing, and she explains it beautifully. And the way she retrieved this information was by doing quantum healing, hypnosis technique, or QHHT. And during her sessions, thousands of sessions over the years, she's passed now, Dolores, she was able to, connect to people's past lives in a deep somnambulistic brainwave state. And all of these people were saying the same thing, that they heard the calling, that the earth was in trouble. And this was after the time of the bomb in Hiroshima in 1949. And that there was a calling for volunteers to come to the planet to be able to help. And so, of course, the first wave of indigos came started coming in sort of 1950, 58. They started arriving. And then you've got the beta generation of indigos, which is who I am. I'm a beta generation indigo, because I was born in 1972. And they're called the indigos because when their auras are photographed under Kirlian photography, they are sort of green to blue to violet color around the body. So, and that can be proved, obviously. So it's like a physical full energy bodies around are those colors. And then obviously you've got the delta generation, the gamma generation, and of course it goes all the way through to the crystal children, and then the rainbow children. And the rainbow children are the last wave of beings, starseed beings or light workers that come in to be able to help raise the vibration. But they're here just to do the work, so they don't need to be involved in all of that sort of rebalancing of karma, because that has finished. It's gone, thank God. So we don't have to be, and so we can live in more, eternally on the new earth matrix, which is heaven on earth. And that's what's happening. So we have to align ourselves to those frequencies by being mindful of our thoughts. Our language is changing. So instead of the alphabet, which is derived from, an old sort of program, which carries density, we're starting to speak light language. So more and more over the years, especially as we enter Aquarius, our communication is going to be totally different. A lot of more people are going to be speaking light language, which is almost like a channeling that comes through the Pleiadians and the different star families, and it almost takes away the vowels and the sharpness of the consonants, and it enables us to enter a different frequency, and it's more heartfelt, because it is about really living through your heart. I mean, Dreamtime Academy, it's got a coloured heart as a logo, because really it's about recognizing that there is a universe within our heart realm. And once we leave the rational cognitive mind, our left brain and our egoic selves, and we enter into our compassionate heart selves, which is what's taking place on the planet right now, with everybody who's getting time to rest and reset and connect to themselves and their families again, we actually enter a different vibrational frequency, and we're capable then of entering the oversoul on the planet, where we exist in a different frequency. So it's a 4-dimensional stroke 5-dimensional frequency that we have access to by going into our hearts. So we can do that very simply just by setting an intention and just feeling good. Look for things that make you feel good. Remember, the law of attraction is playing a massive part in this as well. So if you're feeling good, you're attracting positive scenarios and events to yourself. And if you're visualizing the future as you want it to be, as a new golden age, and you see it as you want it to be, away from old financial constructs, into more of a liberated sort of equality and unity consciousness on the planet, where all of our needs and desires are catered for in a moment without the need for payback and all of that. It's lifting us totally out of all of those old ways of being, because the earth was never supposed to be that. The earth was designed for the frequency of the keynote E. So like in Reiki, we teach the Kotodamas, okay, and they are sound frequencies. E, O, U. E, E, O, U. So it's, you know, these are the frequencies of sound, and actually E is the frequency that created the earth. Okay, that's what created the universe. Actually, it was all created from a sound resonance. And of course, you know, when we align to those simple frequencies again and we put them together, we create a new earth vibration. I know it sounds a little bit sort of woo-woo, but you know, it is simple, really. Color really are just frequencies of light, and that's really all we are. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next reading. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time left. Let's see who's next. Now, remember, guys, if you do want to have a reading and I don't get to you today, I am back every Friday doing like little mini readings. So this is nothing like a full report that you can get from me. So I handwrite these reports. They take me a few days to write, and I'll put a link underneath, and that'll look at your name chart, your birth chart, and also your color influences and everything into a lot of detail. You know, but I every Friday at 9 o'clock Western Standard Time, I'm going to be doing lives like this, you know, so where we can get to talk, we can get to you know, understand a little bit more about what's happening on the planet, as well as doing some readings to help you align and understand a bit more about your personality blueprint and your soul purpose and origins, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's the same, Shannon, really. It's about a period of rest and reset, yeah, and connection again to our heart matrix. So there is a bigger picture in store, you know, in plan, and even if it has been created as a way of kind of breaking down an old order and then building up a new world order, it doesn't really matter, because ultimately it's for our purposeful good. Yeah. So feeling at peace is good, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, irrespective of what's happening. The people that are crossing from COVID have come to the end of their contract anyway, so don't worry about that. It's just they don't, you know, they're not necessarily moving forward into the golden age. They were only here for the period before that. So everybody's decided, you know, when they're going to go, and you know how long they're going to be here for, and those that you know want to go forward onto the new earth have made a conscious decision for that as well. So it might not be you, it might, but I know that, you know, it's available for anybody who wants it, but there is a choice to be made. Okay, so universal vibes. Let's have a look. And also, you know, for you guys, if you are interested in learning Pythagorean numerology, I have an online course which goes through my wellness portal. Now, it's normally priced at 99 Australian dollars, but I'm actually offering it for anybody who's in my live today for only 19.95 Australian dollars. So 19.95, that's I don't know what that is in American, but I think it's only about like 12 bucks or something like that. So if you want it, then please message me in the feed, and then I'll send you a link to my PayPal me, and then I'll send you a link, a password and login to my portal, and then you can have access to that as well. Just because, you know, I appreciate you guys being here, and I know that sometimes it's just nice to have something cool to learn during the lockdown and give yourself some extra skills. So if you want a reading, you can either have a reading with me via Zoom. Okay, so I offer private readings via Zoom. and those ones are 125 Australian dollars. But if you wanted to have a report, a numerology report, they're only $39. But I do write those, so they can take a few days to arrive. And I'll put a link underneath, Shannon, in this video. So you just click on the link and you can buy it straight through my website. And yeah, you just have the opportunity to tell me what your date of birth is and your living name, rah, rah, rah. So yes, it's very easy. Excellent, Patrina. Yeah, that's an awesome, it is a really awesome class. It's all done via video tutorials and ebooks as well. So, you know, you get to learn more about yourself and your family and things like that as well. Okay, so Parfum, how do I rise my vibration and keep it constantly high? Now, there is a video on my YouTube channel, which is like how to ascend into 5D consciousness. So just have a look at that and you can see that, how to raise your vibe into 5D, I think it's called. And that gives you 10 clear ways of being able to raise your vibration. All right. So yeah. Level 2 numerology is going to be, I think I've got it planned for like later in the year. If she checks my events on my Facebook page, Viv, she'll be able to see when I'm running level 2. And that's likely to be done via Zoom tutorial instead of face-to-face, depending on what's happening with COVID, because most of my workshops are obviously, my face-to-face workshops are on hold at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to go here to Universal Vibes, April the 11th. So the 11th of April, 1988. And that's Heather in Alaska. Hello, Heather in Alaska, all the way from Alaska. Wow, that's incredible that you're in Alaska. That's brilliant. Excellent. All right, so let's have a look at Heather. All right, so you're a date number 11. You're a 9, 10, 18, 19, 26, 32, a 5, a ruling 5. Level 2 numerology is we do level 1, 2, and 3 numerology, and level 2 looks into the name charts and the vibration of the name chart and your color, personality number, and compatibility within relationships, and your pyramids as well, your peak levels of maturity. So it goes into a lot more detail. And then level 3 numerology is like, you know, the relationship between astrology and numerology, personality types, color personalities, and it just goes into so much detail. And also the seals of Solomon as well. So, you know, it's quite laden full of sort of mystical wisdom when we get into level 3. So level 2, yeah, it's normally run face-to-face in group scenarios in and around Perth, West Australia, but I'm actually going to be running my numerology courses via Zoom tutorial in group sessions. It's a 5-hour course, and it's normally done on a Sunday, but if you want the dates for those, just go onto my Dreamtime Academy Facebook page and look in my events, and you'll see down there the days for the numerology. They're only $99 for the to attend, and that will give you a certificate of achievement after you've done 3 case studies as well. So, you know, you'll have your certificate of achievement through the Dreamtime Academy. It just gives you another modality, a really accurate tool that you can use. So Heather, you've got this one here with this arrow here, which is the absence of the 3, 5, and 7. This is called the arrow of the inquirer. All right. So this means that sometimes you can be a little bit skeptical of new concepts that can't be scientifically proven until you've got your own proof. And then when you've got your own proof, you become like an avid convert, and then you'll tell everybody about it. But, you know, this is like, you know, there is a little bit of like, you know, I've got to do my own research. I've got to, you know, sort of make sure that I've had, you know, sort of found my own way with this. It's not something that I necessarily will take on board at face value. So that's an aspect of your personality. Now, you are a day number 11, which means that you are very spiritual as well. You know, that you're here to guide humanity forward. You're very sensitive, very intuitive as well. A lot of the day 11 people go into, you know, sort of reading cards or clairvoyancy, or can be quite psychic. And it's that duality as well. But, you know, the duality bottle in Colour Mirrors is bottle 11, which is looks black over white. And it's actually your last look at issues of separation. So it's recognizing that your dark aspects or your shadow aspects and your light aspects and the things that you love about yourself are actually equally as lovable. And it's just an illusion that there's a separation there, because really the black in this, and magenta is the color of divine love in the Colour Mirrors system. So it's like conscious mind creates the separation. That's why the 11s actually are very, very good at you know, sort of helping humanity and being a good channel for spiritual wisdom, is because they go through that process and they're able to learn to love their own shadows. So you've got that day number 11. Now, your ruling number is a 5, so freedom is very important to you. So you're one of life's travelers. You like to travel to different cultures, different places. You know, it's you're very good with communication as well. So you're good at talking. It's very fluid and flow. 5 is, you know, the 5 is the center of the emotional plane. So this is your biggest influence. It's free spirit. So you don't want to be stuck in a boring 9-to-5 day job. You want to be out traveling the world, experiencing freedom. It's so important for you. You're actually quite a practical person as well, but also you like to be in control as well. So there's a lot of people in the Dreamtime Healing Room today that have got this aspect of the 8. And this is like, you've got 2 8s. It's about wanting to be in control, being very organized. You're a very organized person because you've also got the 4. With a very grounded, practical number. So you're good with your hands. And actually sometimes because you've got the 3 1s, you can either be very chatty, or there's 2 very distinct types of people with 3 1s. They can either be very chatty and not know when to shut up, a bit like myself, or they can be very quiet, you know, and they can retreat and not say boo to a goose. They'd be a bit of a shrinking violet. So there's that. And yeah, I mean, other than that, really, I'd say that for you, you'd be somebody who'd be very good if you were able to just, you know, travel the globe, helping and healing people, doing it in a very independent way, possibly quite good with, you know, in massage or yoga or stuff like that as well. You know, you might be more into the physical aspects of life. Very practical energy that comes through there. How did that feel for you, Heather? Is that something that resonates with you? Let me know, and we can have a look. Now, I'm going to look at your personal year cycle number as well. So your personal year cycle number is a 4, is it 8, 9, 10? You're in a 1. So you're actually in the start of a new cycle. All right, so we travel in 9-year cycles. So a lot of the time, this means that you move home, change jobs, or change relationships. So it's fresh new energy coming in for you this year. So, you know, like whereas last year may have felt like you were finishing off an old chapter, this year it's like all systems go again. So I know in my personal year cycle 1, I moved back from the southwest to Perth, and all of that started again. So it's like a brand new chapter going on there. There you go. So yes, I came from airline captains and have moved a lot. All was perfect. Fantastic. There you go. So yeah, so Heather says, yes, it does sound like myself. Yeah, I moved home to Alaska after being gone 11 years. You see, this is the thing, like numerology, if you think about really life is almost like a computer simulation. All right, so it's coded. So it's a bit like we are code, and code is numbers. So numbers are the foundation of this code. And of course, that's why you get things like the Fibonacci sequence, which is those constant spirals in life that you find in flowers and fossils and galaxies, you know, and DNA even, you know, the double helix in your DNA. It's all spirals. And it's the Fibonacci sequence. All right. So this is very much about how you, the truth of behind you are. So actually, an atom and a pixel are the same thing. So if you look at a pixel on a computer and you get very, very close to it, it starts to go blurry. The same thing happens if you go very, very close to an atom through a microscope, is it starts to go blurry. So actually it's a game. This is like a game, and like being upgraded and downloaded information. It's almost like because we're like an avatar. This is our human avatar that you see in front of you, and what you construe as your physical body. It's actually just energy and code, which is numbers. So numbers is the universal language. Everything is a number. That's right. It is. Everything is a number. Excellent. Well, there you go. Well, look, I've been banging on now for 105 videos, free content on my YouTube channel now as well, which covers everything from soul contracts to lucid dreams, from meditations that can help raise your vibration to predictions for 2020. And that's quite an interesting one to watch, actually. If you want to see what my predictions were for 2020 this year, you'll see that a lot of those have already started happening. So yeah, explore, enjoy, have fun, enjoy your Easter weekend. God bless you all, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.